What's up everyone, today I'm going to be unboxing, installing, and reviewing the brand new Wyze Palm lock. Now I'm a bit skeptical of this just because it says it uses palm vein recognition, so I'm interested to see how well it works, but it does have some pretty interesting features such as auto lock with gyroscope, and what this does is you set the stops by opening and closing your door, and it will automatically lock it if you forget to once you close your door. It has two batteries, one 6-month I believe it is, regular USB-C rechargeable battery, and one backup battery, which I believe also lasts for a month. And it does come with two physical keys that you insert under this panel here, which I'm really glad it does have that option, because you'd be surprised how some companies don't include backups like that. So here are all the features, the ones I already mentioned. It has a USB-C emergency power port, so even if you don't have your key, you can plug your phone or a battery bank into the lock to charge it enough so you can use your Palm. And it does have Wyze doorbell integration, so if you use Wyze friendly faces, you can have it unlock with facial recognition of a person and a bunch of other cool features like that. So let's go ahead and open it. So the box unfolds like so. Okay, that's actually pretty nice presentation here. So there's just this plastic protector on top. Here we have the inside portion. You can see a couple connectors in there, and I believe this slides up. We have our backup battery slot and our regular rechargeable battery slot there. We have our reset button there for when you need to reset or for the initial setup. And here we have the lock itself. So you can see there is a cable here, the regular twisty thing, and it does say that the recommended scan distance is 3.7 inches, and it shows where the sensor is. Oh, that's satisfying. That's where your mechanical key can go if needed, and the USB-C charging is down there for emergencies, and there is, I believe, our speaker. So here we have our backing plate, and this does have rubber, so I believe this has to do with the weather resistance or just a seal, because I believe it goes on just like so. Then under here you have your backup battery, it looks like, and I believe this is charged by your regular battery when it needs it, so that's really nice. And you have your battery pack, which is USB-C rechargeable directly. You don't need a dock or anything right there, and this is the same one that the other Wyze doorbells and everything use. Here's your quick start guide, your sticker, very important, and it looks like a drilling guide. So that's really nice. Yep, it is. You can see there's cutouts for your door and everything. That is really nice to have included. You can see the deadbolt itself. There's the keys with the Wyze logo. That's pretty neat. You have, this is, I believe, called the latch plate, which goes on your door frame. A few machine screws and a plug. I believe that goes here. And this goes behind the straight plate in your frame. And here are screws for those two pieces. Lastly, we have the screws that I believe hold the entire lock together. So pretty standard hardware besides the actual lock and everything. All right, now that it's unboxed, let's go install and set it up. All right, now I'm at the door where I'm going to install this. So the first thing you do is remove the old one. And I'm going to be doing just the deadbolt here, which the Wyze Palm lock replaces. And most locks have just two Phillips head or flathead screws, and then two on the bolt itself. So now you're going to take the Wyze deadbolt. You can twist it like so to adjust for different size doors, and you're going to put in just like so into the door. And now put the screws in here. And they're going to be these ones here, although I am going to use the ones that were previously in my door, just since they're the same size as the hole already. So now you're going to take the main unit, you're going to take the cap off of this metal piece here if it's on. So if your bore is 38 millimeters, you are going to pop this plastic piece off, it says, And now you can feed the wire underneath here and twist this flat to fit through the piece in here. So it should be sitting like so. And now you can take 2 screws from this bag to attach the backing plate to the front assembly. So there are 2 slightly different sizes in here. You just use the one that allows it to firmly clasp. So you are going to take the backing plate, pass the wire through this hole here, line it up, and pass these screws through. And one thing that is nice is both the front and back plates have these rubber gaskets. So you're going to make sure the plate is straight once you put these in. Next, you're going to take the rear assembly and plug this cable into here, like that. It should seat like that. Now you're going to choose which way your deadbolt is facing.
So now you're going to have the knob in the vertical position when the deadbolt is unlocked.
So now what you're going to need to do is push this cable sort of through the hole into here, and you're going to line up this piece with this metal piece. So now, although it isn't secured, you're going to turn the knob to make sure that it extends and retracts all the way with no issue. You're then going to do the same thing with the door closed. Then you're going to take the 3 screws and this rubber plug from this bag. You're going to take the battery cover off by pinching on these ridges and pulling up. Now one of these screws goes in each of these 3 holes. And now this rubber plug will push right over the bottom one, like that. Now you're going to insert the main battery like this, and the backup battery like that. Then it says to just make sure that everything is securely fastened. It is. So now it's time for setup and the connection to Wi-Fi. So the reset button here says you're going to press and hold for 8 seconds.
Device reset in progress. Device reset successful. Ready to connect.
Alright, once you hear ready to connect, it is going to search for the lock. You're going to connect it to your Wi-Fi. It's going to add the lock to your account and finish the setup. You're going to name it, and that's it. So now it's going to learn the stops for the lock, essentially. It's going to have you extend the deadbolt, and it's going to calibrate. Same thing in reverse, and it's going to say, please open the door. Now, one cool thing about the Wyze Palm lock is you can have it lock automatically if you forget once the door is closed, and it does this with some sort of angle sensor. So now it's going to have you open the door.
Please open the door.
Now it's going to have you unlock and open the door to the widest angle, and you're going to click next once you've done that.
Please close the door. Door calibration successful.
And that function should be calibrated. Now it's going to ask you this question. At this point, you can put the battery cover back on. You just start it up here and slide down like that. So actually, when I just got out here, it automatically locked the deadbolt as soon as I went out and shut the door. So that works great. Now for the best part. Now you're going to create an access code, and now it's time to add your palm print, or you can skip it if you really don't want to use it. In the app on the top right, it will show you the battery level. So now let's set up the actual palm recognition. If you skip that in setup, you can add it later. You go to access and sharing, your username, and now you can do it. So you're going to place your palm in an...
Your palm 3 to 7 inches in front of the lock screen.
Just like so.
Palm scan successful.
And it's as easy as that. So let's just go over a couple of the features. When you lock it, it sounds like this. And when you unlock it, it sounds like this. So the touch screen will wake once you tap it, and then it automatically turns off after just a few seconds.
And on the screen there is also a lock button, as well as an unlock button for if you use the code.
And also one nice feature is that you can still unlock it with a physical key, just by sliding this down. And you can use it as just a normal deadbolt if you'd like. So if your main battery is dead and the backup battery, which is supposed to last around a month, is dead. Also, there is a USB-C port on the bottom where you can charge it from either your phone or a battery bank. Then there's also a light on here when you lock it to confirm that it has been locked all the way. So thank you for watching, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next video.